What if I told you there's a planet out there that's completely naked? Not destroyed, not shattered, just exposed, down to its very core. A world that once may have been wrapped in thick layers of gas, just like Jupiter or Saturn, but has since lost them, or never formed at all. What's left is something we've never been able to see before. The solid, rocky heart of a gas giant, standing uncovered in space. And that's exactly what scientists think they've found. Meet TOI-849b. Astronomers call it the naked planet. It shouldn't exist, at least not in the state we found it. It is located roughly 730 light-years away, orbiting a star a lot like our Sun. This world breaks the rules of planet formation. It's massive enough to be a gas giant, yet it isn't cloaked in gas at all. Instead, it's bare, a heavy, compact core where an entire atmosphere should be. So what happened? How does a planet lose everything and survive as just a core? Let's dig in. The impossible planet. When astronomers first spotted TOI-849b using NASA's TESS satellite in 2018, something felt off. The planet is about the size of Neptune. That's already interesting. Neptune-sized planets are rare this close to their stars. But then they measured its mass 40 times heavier than Earth, more than twice Neptune's mass. Wait, a Neptune-sized planet that weighs more than twice what Neptune weighs? The math didn't add up. This thing is dense, really dense, about as dense as Earth and Venus, 5.2 grams per cubic centimeter. That's when it clicked. This isn't a gas planet at all. It's almost entirely rock and metal. But here's the problem. Planets this massive shouldn't be rocky. Once a forming planet hits about 10 Earth masses, it becomes a vacuum cleaner. It starts pulling in hydrogen and helium like crazy, ballooning into a gas giant. TOI-849b is 40 Earth masses. It should be drowning in gas, but it has almost none. At most, 4% of its mass is atmosphere. So either something went horribly wrong during its formation, or something catastrophic happened after. How hot is world? Here's where things get brutal. TOI-849b orbits its star in just 18 hours. That's not a typo. 1 full year, 18 hours. It's so close to its star that its surface temperature hits around 1,500 degrees Celsius. That's 2,700 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot enough to melt rock. This puts it in what astronomers call the Neptunian desert, a zone near stars where you almost never find Neptune-sized planets. And there's a good reason for that. Any planet unlucky enough to orbit this close gets blasted by radiation. The star's intense heat and energy strip away atmospheres over time, especially if the planet doesn't have enough gravity to hold on. But TOI-849b isn't just hanging out in the desert. It's thriving there, or at least surviving. Which brings us to the big question. Is this the exposed core of a planet that once looked like Jupiter? Or is it something else entirely? How a planet lost its soul. Scientists have two main theories. Theory 1. TOI-849b used to be a gas giant, but it lost its atmosphere. Maybe it migrated too close to its star and crossed something called the Roche limit, the point where a star's gravity becomes so strong it literally rips a planet apart. The gas gets torn away, but the dense core survives. Or maybe the planet had a highly elliptical orbit at some point, swinging close to the star and then back out. Each time it got close, the star would blast it with energy, heating the atmosphere until it boiled off into space. A collision with another planet could have done it too. Smash two gas giants together, and you might knock away all the fluffy gas, but leave the dense cores behind. Theory 2. TOI-849b never had an atmosphere to begin with. What if it formed in a gap in the protoplanetary disk, a region where there just wasn't enough gas and dust floating around? Or what if it formed late, after all the hydrogen and helium had already been gobbled up by other planets? In that case, it would have grown into this massive rocky core, but never managed to collect the gas needed to become a true giant. It's a failed gas giant, a planet that tried but couldn't quite make it. Inside the heart of a dead giant. Either way, TOI-849b gives us something incredible, a window into the heart of a gas giant. We've never seen this before. Jupiter and Saturn hide their cores beneath tens of thousands of miles of swirling gas. We've sent probes to Jupiter, and we still don't know exactly what's at its center. But TOI-849b? It's right there, exposed, naked. If scientists can measure what's left of its atmosphere, and there might be a thin shell of water vapor or other gases, they can figure out what the core itself is made of, because that wispy atmosphere would be constantly replenished by material escaping from the core. It's like reading a planet's biography from the inside out. Early observations suggest the core is mostly iron, rock, and water, with barely any hydrogen or helium. That tells us something profound about how planets grow, what materials stick around, and what gets blown away. And it confirms what we've long suspected, but never proven. Cores can survive even when everything else is stripped away. The violent birth of a broken world, TOI-849b, also teaches us about timing. If it's a failed gas giant, it means there's a narrow window in a planet's life when things can go wrong. Maybe the disk of material runs out. Maybe a gap forms. Maybe another planet steals all the good stuff. And if it's a stripped giant, it shows us just how violent and chaotic planetary systems can be. Planets don't just form and sit there peacefully. They migrate. They collide. They get torn apart by their own stars. TOI-849b survived all of that. It's also only the second hot Neptune ever published. These objects are so rare that finding even one is a big deal. The fact that this one is so extreme, the densest Neptune-sized planet ever discovered, makes it even more valuable. Astronomers are now planning follow-up observations. They want to measure the alignment of its orbit with the star's spin, which could reveal more about its violent past. And eventually, with next-generation telescopes, they hope to analyze whatever thin atmosphere still clings to the surface. That data will help answer the ultimate question. What is this thing really made of? Why this planet changes everything? TOI-849b might seem like a cosmic oddity, but it's more than that. It's proof that planets can survive the worst conditions imaginable, that cores are tougher than we thought. That planet formation is messier, stranger, and more extreme than our models predicted. And it reminds us that out there, 730 light-years away, there are worlds we can barely imagine. Worlds that challenge everything we think we know. Because in the end, TOI-849b isn't just a planet. It's a survivor. If planets like this make you curious about what else is hiding out there in the universe, hit subscribe. We're just scratching the surface of what's possible, and you won't want to miss what we uncover next.